Good afternoon, Rana sir. Am I audible to you?
Yeah, good afternoon, Sanchita. You're audible.
Good
How are
afternoon.
you?
Good afternoon. I'm good, sir. So, should I start?
Yeah, my
Everybody, so
video is okay, or should I shift some?
no, sir, your video is okay, perfectly fine.
Audio is also good,
Yeah,
so good
perfect.
to go
Good.
whenever you feel.
Yes. So, good afternoon, everyone. A very warm welcome to all the participants joining us for today's webinar on strengthening crowd management in India, lessons, innovations, and institutional preparedness, hosted by Square India Academy. I am Sanchita Biswas, Deputy Manager, Knowledge and Capacity Sharing at Spare India, and it is my pleasure to host this important discussion. So, we all know India witnesses some of the world's largest human congregations, whether religious, political, and cultural. While these gatherings are very deeply rooted in our identity, they bring complex crowd management challenges. Today's session is dedicated to exploring those challenges and solutions with insights from experts on behavioral trends, institutional preparedness, and technological innovation. We encourage you to share your thoughts and post any questions in the chat box. We'll address them during the open discussion. Let's now begin with the session for today's webinar. We are privileged to be joined by a distinguished panel of experts who bring with them the deep knowledge and practical experience in managing crowd dynamics, public safety, and disaster risk reduction. As we aim to maintain the flow of the session and ensure everyone has an equal opportunity to speak, we kindly request you to adhere the 15-minute time limit for your presentations. Starting from the session 1, which is on understanding crowd behavior and risk factors. For this session, we have with us Shri Randeep Kumar Rana, Senior Advisor, NIDM. Shri Randeep Kumar Rana is a seasoned 1990 batch CRPF officer with over 30 years of service in disaster management and national security. As the former DIG operations and training at NDRF, he played a pivotal role in shaping India's cyclone response strategies and led major operations during major disasters like Cyclone Hudhud and Cyclone Fani. With extensive field knowledge and experience in managing natural hazards, his leadership has significantly strengthened the nation's emergency response framework. He currently serves as a senior advisor at NIDM. We welcome you, sir. Over to you.
Thank you, Sanchita. Good afternoon, everyone. Talking about the subject of crowd behavior and its resultant catastrophic outcomes. That too, at this post-lunch session, is usually it's a very heavy topic for that. So I would try to be as concise and as precision as possible. In case of any queries or additions to the discussion, you are welcome. As far as for a country like ours, every year we have one or two major mishaps due to overcrowding of people due to one reason or the other. And many a times the resultant stampedes, they are high casualty incidents. You all would agree with me. This is one loss which can be prevented. There are many natural hazards, though efforts can be made to minimize the loss, but loss due to stampedes is very much preventable if we understand the behavior of the crowd, how the different people, different classes of the people, different strata of the society behave in a crowd situation. And if the organizers of the events, if it is an organized event, because in most of the cases, such incidents happen in organized events only. So if we understand the crowd behavior as well as what are the basic features which, if we take care of that, the incidents can be minimized. If you understand all this, then I'm sure this is one area where the loss can be minimized. In any democratic country or any society, it's very healthy social human trait to congregate, whether for religious grounds or for social gatherings or political gatherings. It is a part and parcel of our social development. And there's nothing new in it. It's a healthy trait, and it has been going on since time immemorial. People gather at certain places at certain times of the year for either celebrations or different reasons, and it is something which has to be encouraged. But at the same time, different measures which should be taken care of to manage such high density gathering is also a part and parcel of such event management. You will agree that mass congregations, people are in a different happy mood. And though these congregations are often joyful, but still they do present a significant safety risk due to crowd behavior as well as external factors also. Overcrowding, panic, resultant stampedes are common dangers, often exacerbated by poor planning and management. If we study different incidents over last 10-15 years, one common factor is inadequate planning. And uh, people who have been involved in the organizing of the event, somehow they fail to perceive what could be the threats, what can be the triggers which can direct the crowd behavior resulting in stampedes. So if we understand the crowd dynamics, including both the intrinsic factors and extrinsic risks, that is from the within the crowd or the external factors, it is very crucial for effective risk management in any scenario where large number of people they gather in a confined space or even in open spaces where the space available is comparatively less given the number of people who have gathered there. If we talk about intrinsic factors, that is the behavior of the crowd, the first and foremost common factor is overcrowding. And for a densely populated country like ours, it is actual threat wherever there is a high gathering of people. The risks of some stampede are real and have to be taken care of. The capacity of even small rumors to generate panic in such a crowded space, it is of very high density, and panic and fear usually uh, in any crowd they spread very rapidly. And when panic and fear strike, trying to control the emotions and mood of the behavior at that time is usually uh, not feasible. It is, in most of the cases, it is not possible if the factors have not been accounted for in advance. Stampedes are usually triggered by sudden movements or events, often resulting in serious injuries and fatalities. And when the crowd is very dense, the space is limited, a single incidence of, say, even 2%, 3% falling due to one reason or the other. There have been occasions when very small petty incidents, they have led to major stampedes. Because if we understand the crowd dynamics, it is entirely different from individualistic behavior. Even mature people, grown up people who have a seizable experience in their own lives, they behave differently in small social gatherings. They might seem composed, they might seem in control, but the same set of people, when they face some stressful conditions generated by panic in a crowded space, then their behavior has been observed to be entirely different, and they tend to be guided many times by the common crowd behavior. As we all know, in any crowd, however large it might be, there are small sections, small set of people, small groups, they form the large group. And most of these small groups, they are usually influenced by, say, their leader or elderly people from that group, or basically it is influenced by dominant individuals or people part of that crowd, and it has potentiality to both have a positive impact as well as it has a potential of negative impact also. Because if the leader of the group, he himself panics, and uh, if his own behavior is panic driven, his other group members who have faith in their leader or the group in charge, they tend to follow him without giving much thought to their own assessment of the situation. Social norms also play an important role in such crowds, and many times religious crowds, because very recently there was an incident at Hathras in 2024 in a religious gathering. Because of some miscommunication, people started rushing towards a particular point, and that led to a stampede, and resultantly more than 100 people died in that stampede. At the same time, the crowd behavior is determined by, apart from external factors, there are many other intrinsic factors like age, gender, how whether it is a religious crowd or whether the people are gathered for some political democratic messaging. All these factors, they have effects on the behavior of the crowd. These factors can be taken care of with immaculate planning, which we will discuss in due course. But apart from crowd behavior, we have to figure out external factors also, like the place where this gathering is taking place, the design of the venue, because any poorly designed venue with inadequate exits, if it has narrow passages, or if the surfaces are not even, uneven surfaces usually lead to individuals falling down, and then crowd pushing people who are in front of them, leading to stampedes. Therefore, venue design is a very important part of any such event where number of people gather. Similarly, external conditions, everything might be fine, place is good, the people are behaving in a disciplined manner. Suddenly, some unforeseen incidents like some extreme weather event might trigger the behavior of the people who have gathered there. Like If you can recollect, in 2008, during a Mela in Naina Devi complex in Himachal Pradesh, though there were no actual triggers, but there was a rumor that some landslide has taken place near the temple. People started running, and that resulted in stampede. More than 150 people died. So these are such unforeseen incidents which, if not accounted for in planning, usually can trigger crowd behavior in an uncontrolled manner, leading to stampedes. Similarly, acts of violence, whether it is an actual incident or whether it is a hoax call, they have a large potential of triggering the crowd behavior in a negative way. Similarly, like if I can recollect in 2008 in Himachal Pradesh itself, in another incident, Chamunda Devi Temple complex, there was some rumor of Hawks bomb call. Uh, People, the message spread from one ear to another, one person to another, and one group to another, and within 2-3 minutes, a large number of people, the message instead of Hawks call, people thought it to be a reality, and out of panic, people started running, and in the process, many people fell down, resulting in stampede. There also, many people had to lose their lives. Similarly, accidents can be another trigger point. Natural hazards, because there have been fire incidents where large number of people they died in such high density gatherings. So, understanding crowd behavior is one factor. Immaculate planning is entirely a different factor, and that planning can be possible only by understanding the crowd behavior as well as the factors which can lead to such stampede like situations. Therefore, detailed crowd management plans are essential. There has to be some system to understand the crowd inflow analysis. In case of any eventuality, how many and how far are the exit points, how the crowd movement has to be regulated through the exit points. All these factors, unless they are catered for, the crowd behavior, once the panic has triggered, at that moment of time, it will not be possible to divert the crowd behavior. Therefore, immaculate planning and its dissemination to the people who are forming part of that crowd, it is very, very essential for a smooth conduct of such an event. Technical know-how, technical surveillance, monitoring, that can be a value added or add-on, and I'm sure there is another speaker on that, so I will not deliberate much on that. Communication also plays a key role, because in this year itself, in February, there was a stampede at New Delhi railway station. Though overcrowding was there, different factors were there, but people, the immediate cause was communication gap, maybe some announcement about change in platform. So if such small uh, events or happenings, they can trigger stampedes if the crowd is beyond management. So there are certain measures which, when if adopted for crowd control, then uh, it can be a part of better planning also. And even if some unforeseen trigger has been there, if the crowd control measures are in place, then the situation can be controlled uh, in a better way. First and foremost is, apart from planning, if there are trained security personnel to manage the crowd. That has a great impact on the psyche of the crowd. And if there are predetermined uh, ways and exits, barriers are there, and if there are measures in place to segregate the crowd in separate compartments and channelize their movement, then it can be a way out to ease out the situation. Similarly, in case of any such eventuality where some crowd, it has if stampede like situation has been there, so emergency response drills, if they have been in place, if they have been rehearsed, if the people who are managing that event, if they know what individual role they have to play in such a situation and what collective role they have to play in such a situation, then emergency response mechanisms, they also help a long way in minimizing the effects of uncontrolled crowd behavior. Similarly, psychological factors, they also play a big role. If the organizers understand the crowd psychology well, and if they are in a position to address the psychological factors like uh, events which can trigger panic or anxiety in the crowd, if they understand this well, then certainly they can control the flow of these panic driving triggers well in advance. The key challenges which I understand from the law and point also, and as a disaster management point of view also, it is a complexity of interactions in a way, because the crowds are dynamic, and they have a there are numerous interactions which are taking place within the members of the crowd every minute, every second. So there has to be some mechanism to understand the real time uh, processing mechanism should be there, which can analyze the crowd behavior in a real time. If there is some pocket in some such high density gathering area, and if due to surveillance, if the managers can identify some trouble spots, then they can address the issues before it turns out to be an ugly situation. Public safety, basically, it's a debatable issue, because in any crowd-like situation where uh, certain triggers are there and the panic spreads, then every individual uh, try to fend for himself or herself, and to save himself or his immediate near and dear ones, usually they tend to behave in a bizarre way, and many times they tend to forget normal social norms also. Therefore, analyzing the crowd behavior, maybe due to technical surveillance or by keeping different trained manpower within the crowd, it is very, very essential. Therefore, if I summarize, immaculate planning is very, very essential. Secondly, appropriate sensitization of the people who are responsible not only in management of the events, but also the members of the crowd, because many of the events, they are planned well in advance. The system of registration is there. If they can share certain guidelines with the people in advance, then that can also be of help. Rehearsals of the planners and the managers of the event is very, very helpful. And these rehearsals, they can be at sectional level. Different sectors have their own coordination exercises, and different intersector walk exercises, they also help in a long way. They go a long way in identifying the gaps in planning and in such exercises, unforeseen incidents which can occur during the event, they can also be discussed, and roles and responsibilities of different people in managing the event, they can also be discussed in that, so that there is no discrepancy in understanding on roles and the roles of group, the people who are managing the event. For this purpose, different plausible scenarios can be there. They can be hypothetical. They can be based on past experiences as well. And if mock exercises are conducted by taking these hypothetical or previous incident based scenarios as a exercise model, then definitely it is one of the best ways to avoid ugly situations in such high density crowd gatherings. And last but not the least, because crowd management cannot be done alone at the site of event. So the crowd management strategies should start at a distance, maybe even 50 kilometers from the venue, 20 kilometers from the venue. And the movement of the crowd, if channelized from a distance away from the venue, then the high density gathering at that particular space can also be avoided. Because many a times, however good might be the planning, if the number of people become unmanageable, then the chances of this leading to any unpleasant situation is very, very high. Therefore, apart from venue management, general area management is very, very essential. And that general area can be determined. It can be a radius of 10 kilometers, 50 kilometers can also be there. It can be even 100 kilometers depending on the event.
Sir,
Or,
am I audible to you?
yeah, you are audible.
Sir, we need to wrap up. There's
Yeah,
others
this
also.
basically I was wrapping it up only, and
Yes, yes, sir.
this was basically uh, circular crowd management strategy, that is at a distance from the venue, which I mentioned earlier. If the amount of so the number of people is very, very high, like gatherings like Kumbh Mela, then these radial strategies can, it can go up to 100 kilometers from the actual venue. So if all these small factors, they are uh, taken into account, and the guidelines and safety precautions, they are disseminated to the people who are likely to be part of this of the crowd, then definitely this is one avoidable loss which we can prevent due to good planning and understanding of the crowd behavior. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sanchita.
Thank you so much, sir, for such a thoughtful and dynamic talk, I must say. Drawing from your rich experience with NDRF and your leadership during the major disaster responses and your reflections has really taught us. Your reflections on crowd behavior, coordination, preparedness, and real-time decision making have added immense value to our session. Thank you so much. If anyone has any question, feel free to write in the chat box. We will take them during the discussion session. So
Okay. Thank you.
moving forward, the session 2, tech-led solutions in crowd monitoring and real-time management. We have with us Dr. Santosh Kumar Tripathi amongst us. Dr. Santosh Kumar Tripathi is an assistant professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering at NIT Patna, holding a PhD from IIT BHU Varanasi. His primary research areas are computer vision, image processing, and deep learning. Among his key contributions is advanced video-based crowd management, which he has developed models for crowd counting, density estimation, congestion level analysis, and anomaly panic detection using multi-stream and spatial temporal CNN. He has published various research papers and works in reputed journals and conferences. addressing real-time crowd monitoring to enhance public safety. We welcome you, sir. Over to you. We kindly request to please take forward the
Thank
session.
you, ma'am. Are we audible?
Yes, sir. You are audible.
Okay, let me share the slide. The slide is visible now?
Yes, sir.
Slide is visible?
Yes, sir. It is visible.
Uh, I'm not getting.
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay. So, good afternoon to all. The title
Hello.
that I hello. Yes. Anything?
No, sir, please continue.
Okay.
Please continue.
Okay. So the title of this talk is Strengthening Crowd Management in India, Lessons, Innovations and Institutional Preparedness. We are going to figure it out what are the things that has been done in order to strengthen the crowd management. And for that, I have outlined the talk among these 9 key things. Like the first one is introduction, where why crowd management matters. We are going to discuss. Then common crowd management challenges, lessons from major incidents. Then technological innovations in crowd management we are going to discuss. Then institutional preparedness, simulation and forecasting tools, what are there? Then community engagement and volunteers, followed by the future scope and conclusion. So, why crowd management matters? So, first of all, we can't deny from a fact that as the as we are having exponential growth in you can say worldwide population, we can see there is an immense increase in crowd densities, and we can see so many crowd formation occur in our day-to-day life. So this dense crowd will be vulnerable, or you can say that that is open to risk, or that is open to crowd disasters. We can see so many disasters occurs as far as some of the we can say the globally known melas like Kumbh Mela, Rath Yatra. So many we can see the crowd disasters in so many protests, right? Political rallies. So why this occurs? There are 2 different facts we can find out, or things we can figure it out why this incident or crowd disaster occurred. The first one is improper management, right? The second one is, you can say, lack of information sharing, right? So these are the, we can say, the 2 key things that led to crowd disasters. And obviously we can't decrease the you can say high population or densities. Rather we can use measures in order to manage the crowd so as to ensure the public safety and prevent disasters. This is the simple examples where you can say see the crowd in railway station as far as day-to-day life is concerned. Then the figure 2 shows the crowd as far as the Puri Rath Yatra is concerned. You can see there is so many occlusion is there. You can't figure it out, right? How many people are there? Because the crowd density is very huge here, right? So manual solution is not, you can say, useful. Technological solutions, or you can say engineering solutions, you can use it in order to manage the crowd properly. So what are the key challenges during the management occur? First of all, as the crowd is not nothing but is, it's not a, we can say, the collection of 1 or 2 people, right? The huge one, then only disaster occurs, right? So during that dense crowd formation, what we can observe that the sudden crowd surge, when the crowd surges suddenly, stampede occurs. Okay, there are some other factors are also imposed here, right? Or influencing this stampede, but the overall you can see that when crowd surges suddenly, then obviously stampede occur. Then insufficient entry and exit planning, or you can say proper planning is not there, right? Poor communications systems, right? Communication among, as far as the personals are concerned, who has the, we can say, control over this managing the crowd is concerned, there is poor communication among them, right? Similarly, there is a coordination failure between the agencies and lack of trained manpower. So these are the major challenges that we actually face nowadays in order to provide better crowd management strategies, right? In order to avoid the disasters. So when we see the major incidents, okay, before that we need to find out that major incident occur due to stampede only, right? And there is a, we can say, um death of humans, okay, due to stampede only. Over the period of time, you can see that it is not declining to zero, rather it is increasing, right? So, if you talk about the major incidents, recently there are so many. See, we can't say that as far as the India is concerned, we have one or two incidents. So, frequently the incidents are occurring every year. And we just recently you just talk about this Chinnaswamy Stadium stampede, right? Kumbh Mela, not only 2025, 2013 also same thing occurred, right? Similarly, Secunderabad, Chimkhana rally, so many people are died, right? So these are the, what I can say, major incidents occur. Uh, and what we understand from these incidents, that is the key thing. The first of all is stampede occur due to, as I told you, that huge crowd. That is the one thing. Okay, whenever stampede occur, the thing is, I can say that disaster will be higher, risk is higher if more people are there, right? And another thing is rumors. Handling the rumor is very essential. In most of the cases, rumors led stampede, and due to rumors, lot of people died. So that we need to handle. There no crowd simulation before it. See, as far as the management people is concerned, the people who are managing the crowd, they need to do some mock drills, or they need to, what I can say, understand how the crowd will come and how they will behave in different scenarios, and the worst case what has to be done. Suppose any stampede occur, then what kind of solutions we need to take care of it, so that the damage will be minimized. So those things need to be considered before it. Then lack of emergency response plans, that is also led to loss. Then no AI. See, here the tech solutions are required nowadays, because human effort, you can say, rely upon, right? Because we will be tired. We can't monitor the things 24 by 7. So for that case, we need the AI solutions. So inclusion of AI as far as the crowd management is concerned, that is very essential. And we need to figure it out what are the internal, what I can say, factors that is that may in you can say infuse, or that may influence the miss crowd management, and what are the external factors will influence the crowd management, right? So those things we need to find it out, and those are the lessons we need to understand as far as the major incidents are concerned. So as far the institutional preparedness is concerned, as far as India is concerned, we are having the NDMA, okay, National Disaster Management. So who is taking care of this crowd risk analysis, and they are providing so many SOPs. Then Unified Command Center, we need to develop a particular, what I can say, live dashboards where people, police, medical personals, fire service, everybody will be coordinated uniquely or unified manner. They will coordinate, and as far as the crowd management is concerned, then obviously the mock drill. Okay. So that is also required. Then planning and control. So these are the institutional, what I can say, preparedness that we need to take care of it. As far as simulation and forecasting tools are concerned, because we need the AI solutions, right? We need to infuse the AI solutions. So before that, we need to do some simulations. How the, what could be the crowd formation, what could be their behaviors, how the flow of the what I can say crowd occurs. So as far as technical point of view is concerned, we need to develop some mathematical model for that one. Okay, and that model will be it's a kind of simulation in terms of simulation software. Also, you can develop those models which will model the crowd or understand the crowd dynamics. Then obviously now we can use this GIS mapping in order to map the routes, the risk, and say, find out the safe zones, right? As far as the planning is proper planning is concerned. Then predictive analysis, alert-based real-time crowd build-up systems we need to develop. Then now virtual reality training also very essential. And people and different managers or the personals who are concerned with this crowd management must have this particular knowledge. Then, as far as the community engagement and volunteers are concerned, we need to engage this several what I can say community people. Like we need to use this NSS, NCC, Scouts for as far as the first response is concerned. Okay, now then we need to educate this importance of the crowd management via the media, or we need to do some sort of outreach activities. So this community engagement and volunteers are essential here. Now, the future scope or what tech solutions we need to develop as far as controlling the crowd management is concerned. So the first of all, because we are towards development of the smart cities, so it is the right time to integrate these AI solutions during this smart city development. You can see that North Korea, uh, people nowadays there is no what I can say. See, obviously, crowd management, uh, human intervention is required, but all this analyzing the analysis of the crowd. Okay, how many people are there in the crowd? How the crowd behaves? What is the emotion of the crowds? Is there any suspicious activity found out in the crowd or not? So all these things are taken care by the AI solutions, and the Korea is the first country, country who implements this kind of what I can say AI tech solutions in their traffic light system. And suspicious activities, number of people, how many, how the see as far as the crowd, what I can say disaster is concerned, or when we talk about the stampede, uh, if there is a increase in the crowd densities, right? So that may lead to the risk as far as the crowd is concerned higher when there is a stampede occur. So they are monitoring the crowd. See, if the crowd density increases, either the crowd density will increase gradually or suddenly. The sudden increase will lead to suspicious activities. So these are the key things they are finding out, and they are what I can say developing a tech solutions or using this AI and machine learning. They are developing a software, and the software is doing all those stuffs, and those softwares are integrated with several sensors, right? So similarly, or the better manner, because India is a huge country, right? It's not small as far as the South Korea is concerned. So what is the because there is a diversity in India, okay, and the crowd formation is very huge, and there are a lot of people who don't obey the rules, right? So development of the AI solutions and integrating that AI solutions in several what I can say, you just talk about the what I can say the traffic light system, right? Or integrating these AI solutions to the police station. So all these things are not that much of easy. There are so many challenges will incur. So we need to figure those things, right? Then development of this unified surveillance, that is also a future scope which I just addressed here. Then development of the mobile apps for real-time updates and emergency alerts. That is also very essential. IoT sensors people are using. There are so many, you can say, researches are going on while as far as this development of these IoT sensors are concerned. Then crowd emotion. Whatever the solutions we develop, we must infuse crowd emotions, their behavior, in order to develop a particular AI based tech solutions. So let me conclude my talk. So what you understand is here, crowd disasters occur because of mismanagement, because of rumors, and there are so many internal and external factors are affecting the particular planning as well as evacuation of the crowd is concerned. Then we need unique and we need to develop our own models. Okay, using the AI or ML, because our we said our models, because our behavior, our country's people behavior is totally different as far as the people of other countries are concerned. So we need to capture those behaviors. We need to develop AI solutions to capture the crowd dynamics as far as the Indian people are concerned. Then obviously institutional synergy is very essential. So overall we can say technology, AI, ML, training, and teamwork that will give the safer gatherings. Thank you.
Uh, Thank you so much, Dr. Tripathi, for your such insightful and forward-looking presentation. Your session on real-time crowd monitoring and public safety is both impressive and incredibly relevant in today's challenges. If anyone have any questions, so we can take it right down in the chat box. We can take them up in the open discussion session. Moving forward, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Moving forward, the session 3, which is on comprehensive guide to stampede response and crowd management designed for emergency professionals and first responders. For this session, we have Mr. Sudesh Bedi, CEO and founder of Ecopahadi Foundation with us. It is a foundation committed to sustainability and disaster resilience in Himalayan region. A disaster management graduate from Punjab University and an only A-grade certified instructor from Kangra with NDRF training. He has over 10,000 responders, including SDRF, police, and official. He has also contributed to key efforts like the HPCA IPL 2025 Stampede Plan Management, combining field expert and grassroots action to strengthen community preparedness. We welcome you. Over to you, Mr. Hello. Your video is stuck. Am I audible to you, Mr. Bedi? I guess Mr. Bedi, uh, hello, am I audible to you? You're on mute.
Hello, hi Sanchita. Am I audible?
Hi.
Sorry, I just
Yes,
got
yes. Now,
disconnected. And
no,
sorry, I
it's
just got
okay.
disconnected.
It's okay. Do you have a presentation to
Yes,
share?
yes, yes.
So you can.
Trying to share.
Okay, over to you.
Is my screen visible? Is my presentation visible, Sanchita? Am I audible?
Yes, it is visible. Yes,
It
yes,
is.
you are audible, you are visible, and your presentation is visible.
Okay. So before starting, I'd just like to thank Sanchita for inviting me for this amazing webinar that you have organized, arranged. So let's just start the session and let's not waste the time. So yeah, I'll be going with Hindi. And so here are our objectives. That is, by the end of this session, these are all the things that we are going to learn. इस सेशन के अंत तक हम ये सारी चीजें सीख जाएंगे. We will discuss about the high density crowds, how to identify it, and I'll be discussing the technical things, how we can identify it in a simple way. And then I'll talk about crowd dynamics, how the crowd moves, and also I'll discuss the what are the key reasons which really triggers stampedes. Because I've been into, मैं काफ़ी सारी चीज़ों में रहा हूँ जहाँ पे हम लोगों ने, मेरी इस पूरी जर्नी के दौरान जब मैं NDRF, SDRF, वेरियस DDMAs के साथ काम कर रहा था, साथ में काफ़ी सारे ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस के लिए मैं DM प्लानिंग और ये सब करता रहता हूँ. तो जब लास्ट आप जानते होंगे कि IPL का मैच हुआ था HPCS स्टेडियम में, तो उसमें हमने ये सारी चीज़ें जो है इम्प्लीमेंट की थी. सो ये सारी चीज़ें मैं डिस्कस यहाँ पे करूँगा. साथ में मैं बात करूँगा क्या हैं वो तरीके जिसके थ्रू यू कैन असेस द रिस्क फैक्टर, कि कितना रिस्क है, कितना हाई है, कितना लो है, कि स्टैम्पीड हो सकती है कि नहीं हो सकती है. आई डिस्कस द कॉन्सिक्वेंसेज ऑफ हाई डेंसिटी सिचुएशंस. अगर हाई डेंसिटी सिचुएशंस हम बना देते हैं तो वो क्यों इतना ज़्यादा रिस्क पोजेस करती हैं और कैसे वो एक स्टैम्पीड बनेगी. तो मैं उसकी प्रैक्टिकल स्किल्स जो है वो इस वेबिनार के थ्रू आपके साथ यहाँ डिस्कस करूँगा. देन आई विल टॉक अबाउट द सेफ प्रैक्टिसेस, the practical things, how you can survive in a stampede like situations, and what not to do in a stampede, that I'll be discussing here in this session. Then in the end, I've prepared my own comprehensive guide to stampede response and crowd management. This is specially designed for the disaster management professionals who are connected here in the webinar, so that they can learn and implement my comprehensive guide, or they can add their own things into it and make it better. And as per my experience, I have built this guide through which you can simply plan a stampede management and crowd management system for any organization or any event, if I say. So before starting, we must understand the difference between reaction and a response. Sanchita, am I audible, or I'm just speaking because I can't see anything on the screen? It's not my laptop, so I'm not used to it. Am I audible? Anyone can say if I'm audible. Hello.
Yes, you are audible.
ठीक है. So we must
Hello,
understand
Sudesh.
that. Yes, thank you. We must understand the difference between reaction and response before moving ahead. So अगर हम आसान भाषा में बात करें कि अगर हम फॉर एग्जांपल अगर हम खाना बना रहे हैं, खाना बनाते बनाते अगर गर्म पैन हमारे हाथ में टच हो, तो हमारा बॉडी एक स्पेसिफिक तरीके से रिएक्ट करती है. इट ट्राइज टू प्रोटेक्ट अस फ्रॉम दैट हीट, एंड हमारा हाथ हमारे रिफ्लेक्सेस हमारे हाथ को बचाते हैं और हम अपना हाथ पीछे करते हैं. हमारा उस पर कोई कंट्रोल नहीं रहता. हम वी आर नेवर प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर इट कि अगर हमारा हाथ टच होगा तो हम इस तरह से रिस्पॉन्स रिएक्ट करेंगे. सो दैट प्रोसेस इज समवट वी कॉल व्हाट इज कॉल्ड ए रिएक्शन, and this is similar when a stampede happens. People are not aware or तैयार नहीं है, they are never ready that if we are in a high density crowd and if a stampede occurs, then they usually react because they don't know the process how to survive, or what is a high density crowd, और क्या है जो उस चीज को एक उसका रिस्क फैक्टर बढ़ा रही है. तो अगर आप प्रिपेयर्ड नहीं है, if you're not prepared, then you come in this region of reaction, that you will react in a stampede or in a high density crowd. But when you plan it in a systematic way, that if you are in a high density crowd, if your family is in a high density crowd, or if your friends are in a high density crowd, or if you are out of a high density crowd and you can see there is a high density crowd which can possess a risk, which can really become a stampede, then if you are prepared how to react, that we are going to learn in this webinar, then you are going to come in this section, that is response. Then you are going to respond. That is the planned way of doing things. So the real difference is that reaction is never planned. This is a like natural reaction, and response is something that is planned, and this is what we should focus on whenever we are speaking or talking about stampedes. So this is how a high density crowd looks. But what does the definition tell? Definition tells if there are 6 or more people in a per square meter area. If you are in a specific crowd where there are like, if you feel like there are like 6 people around you, and they are under a 6 like per 1 square meter area, there are like 6 people surrounding you, then you are in a very high dense crowd. That is the crowd that possesses the threat, or that is the crowd that can become stampede. So you must understand or see that what is a high density crowd. You can clearly see this in this image. Actually, this presentation is purely practical based. Sanchita had been with us, and she had seen that it's very difficult to explain things virtually through a webinar, but I'll try my best to just, you can visualize it, how does a high density crowd looks through this image and the definition. Then how does a high density crowd usually flows? जैसा कि हम सबको पता है कि एक रिवर कैसे चलता है. रिवर अगर एक बार ऊपर से शुरू हो गया तो वो एक डायरेक्शन, एक सिंगल डायरेक्शन में नीचे की तरफ को फ्लो करेगा. When you are in a high density crowd, that crowd is going to move in a single way. There's no possibilities that anyone or any entity or anyone which can go across, or जो उसके बाहर या उल्टी तरफ ऑपोजिट डायरेक्शन में, यू कांट मूव, यू कैन नेवर मूव इन ऑपोजिट डायरेक्शन, बिकॉज यू, आपकी सिर्फ एक सिंगल एंटिटी की फोर्स है, जहां पीछे 100 200 300 लोगों की फोर्स जो मल्टीप्लाई होकर आपको मिलती है. सो यूजुअली ए हाई डेंसिटी क्राउड, मोस्टली ए हाई डेंसिटी क्राउड, always a high density crowd moves like a river. That means it moves in a one direction. If you are in a high density crowd, then that crowd is going to move in a high density crowd. If you can see clearly, see in this image, there's a door, jahan se exit, log exit kar rahe hain. This point is called the choke point. That is the point which causes the problem, and that is the point where the real problem happens. जो क्राउड है वो आराम से एक डायरेक्शन में जा रहा है, अगर हम उनको एक मूव करने के लिए स्पेस देते हैं जितना, फॉर एग्जांपल इफ हमारे पास 100 लोगों का क्राउड या 1000 लोगों का क्राउड एक जगह इकट्ठा होने वाला है, सो वी मस्ट अरेंज द रूट दैट मस्ट हैंडल 100 पीपल. ठीक है, तो जैसे इसमें डोर, अगर पीछे 100 लोग हैं लेकिन एग्जिट सिर्फ 10 लोग कर सकते हैं, दैट क्रिएट्स ए चोक पॉइंट. सो टिल नाउ वी नो टू थिंग्स, टू टेक्निकल थिंग्स. एक, what is a high density crowd, and second thing, what is a choke point, and third thing is the high density crowd always moves like a river in one direction. So what happens when a crowd turns critical? So when does a crowd turns critical? A crowd बस उसी वक्त critical होगा, एक व्यक्ति उस पूरे crowd में से, single person from that whole crowd, अगर वो पैनिक होता है, किसी भी तरह की अफवाह वो फैलाता है, या फिर किसी भी तरह की प्रॉब्लम वो क्रिएट करता है, सिर्फ अगर एक व्यक्ति उस क्राउड को पुश करता है, तो वो जो एक सिंगल पूरा का पूरा क्राउड है, वो पूरा का पूरा इतनी ज्यादा एनर्जी जनरेट करता है कि पूरा का पूरा क्राउड जो एक बहुत क्रिटिकल मूव करने लगता है, उसी फ्लो में मूव करने लगता है, और चोक पॉइंट के पास इकट्ठा होना शुरू हो जाता है. और जब वो शुरू होगा, ठीक है, so this webinar is totally like a response based, and then in the last I'll be discussing the comprehensive guide how to prevent it. But first we must understand what really happens at the ground level. लोगों के साथ क्या होता है, लोग क्या फील करते हैं. So as you can see on the left, there is the one direction. When there is a high dense crowd, that is gonna move in a one direction. एक व्यक्ति पीछे से पुश करेगा या chaos क्रिएट करेगा, बीच में से कोई एक व्यक्ति chaos क्रिएट करेगा, और वो बस एक पुश दूसरे व्यक्ति को देगा, एंड दैट पुश इज गोना मल्टीप्लाई, एंड दे एक व्यक्ति दूसरे व्यक्ति को पुश करता जाएगा, और इस तरह से जो है एनर्जी आगे ट्रांसफर होती रहेगी. और एज यू कैन सी ऑन द पिक्चर ऑन द लेफ्ट, the crowd is going to move in one direction in case of a high density crowd. When there is a low density crowd, as you can see on the right image, in that case there is nothing like a flow. वहां पे फ्लो एक वो रिवर की तरह फ्लो नहीं करेगा. वो क्या करेंगे, they will run in multiple direction. That usually happens in fairs or events where there are no much people. But if there is any कोई झूठी अफवाह वहां पे फैल जाती है कि यहाँ पे बॉम्ब है, या फिर यहाँ पे कुछ कहीं पे लड़ाई हो जाती है, या कोई इलेक्ट्रिकल शॉक या फायर या थंडरिंग लाइटिंग या वेदर जैसी कंडीशंस क्रिएट होती हैं, in that case even a low density crowd can also become a stampede. So there are like, now we know there are like two conditions which can, two types of crowd that can turn into stampede. One is the high density crowd that will always move in one direction, that is like a river. And then there we have the low density crowd जिसमें वो मल्टीपल डायरेक्शंस में भागेंगे. Both have different consequences, both have different outcomes, both the stampedes needs to be managed differently, that we are going to discuss further in the slides. So see how dangerous is a high density crowd. First we will understand what will cause what will be caused after the high dense crowd becomes a stampede. So as you can see on the left, the very first problem before it becomes a stampede is the crowd crush. वो उस क्राउड क्रश का विक्टिम बन चुका है. इसमें हुआ ये है कि देयर इज ए हाई डेंसिटी crowd and that guy is in the middle of the high density crowd, and that guy has been crushed between that crowd with the pressure had been created because of the energy that is flowing around him, and that crush is collapsing his lungs first, and then we're gonna create increase his body temperature बढ़ेगा, तो then there will be high व्यक्ति क्या हो जाएगा, कोलैप्स कर जाएगा. एंड वंस ही कोलैप्स ये नीचे गिरेगा, और गिरने के बाद ये लोगों के नीचे दब जाएगा और व्यक्ति की क्या हो जाती है, मौत. सो इसमें मैं ये समझाना चाहता हूं, इन केस इफ यू आर इन ए हाई डेंसिटी क्राउड, ट्राई टू अवॉइड
आपकी आवाज कट रही है बीच में.
Hello, Sudesh. You are not audible because there is some network problem from your end. Hello.
Hi Sanchita, am I audible now?
Yes, you are audible.
I'm sorry, please. I'm extremely
No,
sorry.
it's
for the
fine.
inconvenience.
It's fine.
Yeah,
Just try to wrap up.
Yes.
Three minutes.
ठीक है. Yeah, so is my presentation visible? मेरी presentation visible है? Hello Sanchita, am I audible? Is my presentation
Yes.
visible? Yeah.
No, the presentation is not visible. Yeah, you have started sharing the screen.
Yeah.
Yes,
Now I
we
think
can
it's
see your
visible.
presentation.
ठीक है. So the second case is the progressive crowd collapse. In this case, one person falls in between in that flow like river like flow of that high density crowd. एक व्यक्ति के गिरने से multiple progressive crowd collapse can be seen. तो उसमें क्या होगा, एक व्यक्ति के ऊपर मल्टीपल लोग गिरते जाएंगे, और जितने ज्यादा लोग वो गिरते जाएंगे उतने ही ज्यादा हमारे पास मौतें जो है वहां पे होती जाएगी. अब इन दोनों केसेस में we have solution, we can fight it, and we can prepare ourselves how we will deal with it. We'll discuss later. So this is how you are going to survive in a high density crowd. So the very first thing is you're going to do is stay calm, focused, and save your energy, because जितना आप अपना एनर्जी बचाएंगे उतना ही ज्यादा चांसेस होगा आपके जिंदा रहने का. आपको फोकस्ड रहना है. You have to be calm and you need to be very attentive. You need to see your around, और अच्छे से पूरा देखो कि कहाँ पे कितनी एग्जिट्स हैं, क्या है, उसके बारे में हम डिस्कस करते हैं. तो वेरी फर्स्ट थिंग, काम रहिए, ठंडा रहिए, और अपनी एनर्जी को जितना बचा सकते हैं उतना बचाइए. द सेकेंड थिंग इज, इफ यू आर स्टैंडिंग, यू हैव नॉट फॉलन डाउन, आप गिरे नहीं हैं, आप खड़े हैं, तो फिर स्टे विद द फ्लो, स्टे विद दैट रिवर लाइक फ्लो, बिकॉज यू कांट गो अगेंस्ट इट, यू कांट गो इन अपोजिट डायरेक्शन. आप नहीं जा सकते. अगर आप उसका अटेम्प्ट करेंगे, इफ यू अटेम्प्ट इट, यू विल फॉल डाउन, एंड देन देयर इज हाई चांस ऑफ कैजुअलिटी, या फिर आप समझ लो कि कुछ रिस्क जो है आपका बढ़ जाएगा, कि आप को कुछ भी नुकसान पहुंच सकता है. तो सबसे पहली बात कि आप फ्लो के साथ चलिए, आराम से उसके साथ चलते रहिए जहां भी क्राउड जा रहा है. सेकेंड थिंग, बॉक्सिंग पोजीशन में खड़े हो जाइए. बॉक्सिंग पोजीशन विल प्रिवेंट योर लंग्स फ्रॉम कोलैप्स ठीक है, और विल क्रिएट थोड़ा सा एरिया, थोड़ा सा आपके आसपास बनाएगा, जिससे कि आप सांस ले सकते हैं अच्छे से, आपके जो लंग्स है वो कोलैप्स नहीं करेंगे, और थोड़ा स्पेस होने से थोड़ा एरी जो सराउंडिंग आपके बन जाएगी, जिससे यू वोंट स्वेट मच एंड यू विल सेव योर बॉडी फ्लूइड्स during the stampede, or if it's not stampede, in a high density moving crowd, you will save your energy. So be in a boxing position, that will make your balance, आप balanced रहोगे और आप अपनी एनर्जी बचाओगे. चौथी चीज, try to find a fixed object, or if you can climb somewhere like a pole or barricade, or if you can cross a barricade, that is gonna prevent you, और बचाएगा आपको कि आप उस क्राउड से बाहर आ सकते हो. तो उससे बचने के लिए आप सीधा नहीं चलेंगे, आप क्राउड के साथ चलिए, मूव विद द फ्लो, बट साइड वाइज, स्ट्रेट नहीं, साइड वाइज ट्राई टू एग्जिट from that crowd, high density crowd. Don't move straight, try to move sidewise. If you're attentive enough, you will be able to see things like a very fixed object like a pole, pillar, or any barricade or something. Then look for more exit points, because there can be more exit points jahan se aap exit kar sakte hain. Of course, don't move against the crowd, theek hai, move with the flow and move towards more and more exit points if you can find. Sixth, if you've fallen down, then form a fetal position. This fetal position is going to protect your head and your vital organs like head, lungs and heart. If आपका छाती बचा है, आप सांस ले सकते हैं. अगर आपके सर बचा है, आपका vital organs बचे हैं, you will survive. Somehow you will survive. It may take time, but it increases the chances of your survival. Then if you are outside of that crowd and if you want to help people, then always try to move people backwards, because जो crowd, high density crowd है, that would be moving like a river in one direction. So जो choke point जहाँ पे create हुआ होगा, वहाँ पे सारे लोग इकट्ठा हो गए होंगे. If you're outside that crowd, or if you're training officials or police or SDRF, this is for the professionals, then tell them to move people backwards. That can prevent that, to create वो choke point बनने से वो बचाएगा. So sixth point है, move people backwards. If you are in that condition, you can help people. So this is the last slide that I'm going to discuss. That is the comprehensive guide to stampede response and management. You can take a screenshot of it or whatever if you feel interesting. I'll also share the my presentation if you want. So सबसे पहला फेज क्या रहता है जब भी आप कोई इवेंट करते हैं. मैं इसको डिस्कस करने से पहले I'd like to share कि अभी रिसेंटली आप सबको पता होगा कि लास्ट आईपीएल मैच जो धर्मशाला स्टेडियम में हुआ था, उससे एक दिन पहले ऑपरेशन सिंदूर हुआ था. ऑपरेशन सिंदूर होने की वजह से धर्मशाला, जो कि एक स्ट्रेटेजिक पॉइंट था पाकिस्तान के लिए, ऑलमोस्ट 60 to 70 किलोमीटर एयर डिस्टेंस जो है उसका वो है बॉर्डर से. सो वो एक बहुत अच्छा स्ट्रेटेजिक पॉइंट था जहां से कि पाकिस्तान या फिर टेररिस्ट, आई वुड से, अगर वो चाहे कि वो नुकसान पहुंचाना चाहे टेररिस्ट, तो उनके लिए एक बहुत अच्छा पॉइंट था कि वहां से वो कोई भी बमबारी वो कर सकते हैं. और वो जो धर्मशाला का स्टेडियम है जहां पे पूरा वो आईपीएल मैच चल रहा है, तो वहां पे वो बम गिरता तो एक साथ 30 से 40 हजार लोगों को नुकसान पहुंच सकता था. तो हम लोग इस चीज के लिए प्रिपेयर्ड थे. सो आई हैव बीन कॉल्ड बाय डिस्ट्रिक्ट डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट अथॉरिटी कांगड़ा टू प्रिपेयर ए डीएम प्लान or a crowd management plan for them in case something like this happens. So this was the comprehensive guide that I chose to prepare that DM plan. So this is how we worked, and we evacuated 30,000 people within 30 minutes safely, including all the players, VIPs, celebrities, and all individuals and people, through this comprehensive guide that I've chosen, that I have prepared myself. In the phase one, the very first step that you're going to take is the planning. ठीक है, एक meeting, you have to arrange a meeting with all the stakeholders and then prepare a incident action plan according to the event that is going to happen. Then you are going to prepare a incident response system, that is roles and responsibilities of all the stakeholders and the line departments that will be involved in it. For example, in HPCA, what we did was we invited all the stakeholders, even from the people who were managing waste up to all the people managing lights and everything. We called all of them and we had a meeting, a stakeholder meeting, where we discussed our challenges and what are the threats which can cause stampede or any other disaster in that HPCA stadium during the IPL match. Then we created an incident action plan as per our schedule of the matches, that in case anything happens, these are the steps that we are going to take. And we had the IRS which was headed by our ADC at that moment, and then we had a superintendent of police and following all the officials. Then all other line departments were also involved, like fire department, hospitals, and one of the department like we chose was SAI, Sports Association of India, which है ना, हमने उनका ground लिया जहां पे which was our assembly point. Then after this phase of planning, we need to do a thorough HVRC of that event or of that place before the event happens. So we did a HVRC. We evaluated all the hazards, vulnerabilities, risk, and capacities. I know they are all DM professionals, so I'm not going to explain it here. This is a totally different topic. So we did a HVRC, hazard, vulnerability, risk, capacity analysis, and as per that, we updated our incident action plan. Then we prepared an evacuation route for all those 30,000 people, including all the celebrities and the cricket players. So this is what you can do, is prepare an evacuation route in advance, that these are the routes which we're going to follow for the evacuation of all the people. Then हमें और लोगों की जरूरत पड़ी, हम लोगों ने NCC volunteers, NSS volunteers, even disaster management volunteers which we have there in Dharamshala, like Aapda Mitras, हमने उन सब की पहले कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग की as per our incident action plan and as per our HVRC or planning that we have done. So उनकी कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग आप करो, बाहर की चीजें आप उनको नहीं बतानी है, जस्ट उसको कहाँ पे रखना है हमने अपने इंसिडेंट एक्शन प्लान के अंदर. Then we did almost 4 multiple evacuation drills. Even one last evacuation drill was right before 2 hours of the match, because we were prepared the last, क्योंकि पिछले दिन जो है सिंदूर ऑपरेशन सिंदूर हुआ था, और उसके अगले दिन जो है फॉलोइंग डेज में कभी भी धर्मशाला में कुछ भी हो सकता था. तो हमने क्या किया, हमने मल्टीपल इवैक्यूएशन ड्रिल की, और ठीक मैच से 2 घंटे पहले भी हमको ड्रिल करनी पड़ी इन केस अगर हमको बमबारी के दौरान, हमने वॉर इतना ज्यादा कंसीडर नहीं किया था, तो हमको बमबारी के दौरान कैसे इवैक्यूएट करना है, हमने उसकी ड्रिल भी लास्ट मोमेंट में की. सो दिस इज लाइक द प्रिपेयर्डनेस फेज बिफोर द इम्पैक्ट. This is all what you can do, or you can add your own points as per the area or the event that you're choosing. Then there is, after phase 1, you may face impact. Impact जरूरी नहीं है कि बमबारी हो, जरूरी नहीं है कि वहां बम पड़े, but there was a news that there was a strike close to Dharamshala stadium, not that far, around 30 to 40 kilometers far from the HPCA. So हम क्या हो गए, activate हो गए. Then we moved to the phase 2, that is called activation. In activation, the very first thing that we need to activate is the incident response system. That is all the administrative officers and all the stakeholders and line departments that were involved in this event were activated. Then now we have to evacuate the whole stadium, because there had been a blast close to our cricket stadium. So जो हमारा प्लान था, हम टोटली प्रिपेयर्ड थे, हमने ड्रिल्स की थी. So all the incident response system and line departments had been activated. We started implementing our incident action plan. जैसा जैसे हमने स्टेप सोचे थे, हमने exactly वैसे किया, और हमने एक्टिवेशन की also at the ground level. जितने भी हमारे NSS NCC के volunteers थे, सब तक मैसेजेस पहुंच गए, और multiple hundreds of volunteers were there in the ground, even the police officials and everyone. So they all helped us to smoothly evacuate all the people. Then there is phase 3. Only in case if stampede would have happened, then we would have moved to this phase. In this phase, we had prepared our SDRF, State Disaster Response Force, police force, medical teams, and there was NDRF outside the stadium. So in case a stampede would have happened, we would have called our response teams, for example, SDRF, NDRF, and everyone. Then in case there are choke points, then we have to crowd from the choke points, and then we have to segment them with the barricades and all that, and then we have to give them pre-hospital treatment, and at last we need to give them advanced care. So this is all from my slide, in which I discussed all the practical things that we need to do during any stampede, or what causes stampede, and at last I discussed about the comprehensive guide to stampede response and crowd management that we chose for Himachal Pradesh Cricket Association during last IPL match, which was closed in the middle. So this was our comprehensive guide that you can always update as per your knowledge or as per your need. So thank you very much. In last, I would just like to conclude, क्या होता है, मतलब क्या प्रॉब्लम्स मुझे दिखी, मतलब मैं इतने टाइम से आई हैव बीन वर्किंग विद वेरियस एसडीएमएस ऑफ पंजाब, चंडीगढ़, हिमाचल प्रदेश. आई हैव वर्कड विद वेरियस डीडीएमएस ऑफ पंजाब, हिमाचल प्रदेश एंड चंडीगढ़. So I have faced many problems और मुझे ground level की problems पता है कि actual problem क्या है, what causes all these stampedes. अगर stampedes हो रही हैं फिर भी लोग कैसे मर रहे हैं, इतने सारे resources होने के बाद भी चीजें इतनी difficult क्यों हैं? Difficult इसलिए है because India is a big nation, it is very complicated. Plus I'm gonna be harsh and people are not gonna like me for this thing, but government never take things seriously. I've worked with government, but they never take things seriously. They think it can never happen, and this is the harsh reality. Even the individuals like us have same thinking that it can never happen to us, and we are always safe. This is why these stampedes happen and people die. This is the reason. And there are norms, acts, trainings, guidelines all over the internet. Even now all of you know what is a stampede, what can cause the stampede. Even after that we ignore them, and there is negligence. I don't know for what reason, but we need to be serious about this topic because this has become a very big problem for our nation. So thank you very much, Sanchita, for inviting me. I am Sudesh Bedi from Ecopahadi, and this is my contact number. In case if you want to connect with me, you can connect with me. So thank you very much, Sanchita, for inviting me. Thank you.
Thank you, Sudesh, for highlighting the crucial role and the youth in ensuring safety, inclusive crowd management. Your insights have truly emphasized the power of grassroots engagement in disaster preparedness and your field level expertise. So, thank you. We will take forward the questions in the very end. Moving forward to the last session, we have session 4 on from Sabrimala, managing crowd and reducing disaster risk. For this session, we have with us Shri Amalraj M with us. Shri Amalraj M is an experienced disaster management professional and faculty coordinator and assistant professor at ILDM Government of Kerala. He specializes in program management, crisis leadership, and adaptive strategies for risk reduction. With a strong background in working with SDMAs and DTMA teams, he brings practical expertise in leading emergency response and delivering impactful training. His approach combines critical innovation thinking and result-oriented planning to strengthen institutional preparedness and community resilience. We welcome you, sir. Over to you.
Thank you, Sanchita. Very good evening to all. So I was listening to the presentations that was delivered by various persons. So I'll be sharing a case study of Sabrimala in which you can see what the previous speakers were telling. So those things that they were discussing maybe can be seen how the government is trying to implement it in the real ground. So this is what it is going to happen for the next 10-15 minutes. So let me share the slide for a moment. Yeah, I hope the screen is visible to you.
Yes, so the screen is visible.
Thank you. So this is an event where I was working with since 2011 to 19.
Sir, can you, sorry to interrupt, can you maximize your screen because the PPT is not clearly visible. It is in a minimized mode.
Okay, 1 second. Is it visible now?
Yes, it is visible.
Yeah. So this is a case study from Kerala. In Kerala, a festival named the Sabarimala Mandala Makaragolak festival usually used to happen. And in 2011, there was a major stampede in which more than 100 people died. So thereafter, government started to intervene in crowd management. And I belong to the Disaster Management Training Institute of Department of Revenue, Government of Kerala. So we were asked to intervene, and we started to develop various things. And finally, right now something is happening there. So those are the things that I want to share with you. So as I told, it's in the southern peninsular India, in Kerala. There is a district named Pathanamthitta. In that district, there is a hillock in which a temple is situated inside a forest. So the temple is called Shabarimala. It is a Hindu temple in which the deity is the son of Shiva and Vishnu. So he is being devoted there. So during the pilgrimage, the people from various states of southern India, and sometimes from various countries also, like Sri Lanka or Singapore, or sometimes from Russia, German, people are coming carrying some ghee in their in a coconut, and they carry it in their head, and they walk through various places and reach a place named Pamba. So this is a place named Pamba, and this is a river named Pamba. So they reach in the place named Pamba and take a bath, a holy bath in the river named Pamba. Then they break the coconut and they climb the hillock. So there are different hillocks, I mean hilltops are there. So finally they reach the shrine. In the shrine you can see there are some 18 holy steps. They are covered with gold. So see, it's very small, so lakhs of people are now they will climb over that holy steps after breaking a coconut. So after climbing that holy steps, they will open the coconut that they were having ghee with them, and they pour this ghee over the deity for abhisheka, and one piece of coconut is thrown to the fireplace and buy some prasada, and they go back to their home. This is the usual pilgrimage. Again, as I discussed, it is in dense forest area. So this is the place named Pamba. So in through this forest, they will climb through this hillock and reach up to this place to meet the deity. It's nearly 4,000 feet height. So actually, it has some peculiarities. Like this festival lasts for nearly 60 days in two different events. One it is Mandala Puja, and the other one is Magaravalaka Puja. In the first puja, it lasts for nearly 45 days, and the next stage, it's in some 15 days. One peculiarity is that women with the age group of 10 to 50 are not allowed in this temple. So this was situation. During the Makaravilaka, the second puja, a kind of fire is being lightened in a place named Ponnambalamedu, and people believes that this is a holy light or celestial light. So people will stand on various hilltops to adore this celestial light. And yeah, at one point, named Pullumeda, the people were standing like this, and you can see on the right side, the celestial light will be appearing just like in that red circle. I spotted it. But unfortunately, a stampede occurred there. So the result was given in the bottom. A jeep that was parked somewhere, it was just moved over the people, and nearly more than 108 people died in 2011. So the government started to intervene into such issues. So they identified various stakeholders. Stakeholder analysis were made. So various stakeholders, including Devasam Board, district administration, police, fire force, law and order. Many people are intervening in these things. So we identified that there were many incidents before 2011 also, and even on 2000 after 2011 also. When we were working with that, there were many incidents. And other than the stampedes, there are incidents like floods, fire, terrorism, road accidents, etc. So sometimes we make such digital elevation models to identify how the terrain is. And after having a brief analysis, we want to do some safety preparedness activities. So before the pilgrimage, we do safety walks. It is called a Suraksha Yatra, the safety walk before the pilgrimage. So we walk along with various stakeholder departments through the entire road to Pampa. And at some point, see the below given figure is a motor that was used to pressurize the fire hydrant pumps. But when I conducted this walk, I think in 2014, I think. So I asked the people to switch on the motor, but it was not working. So we identify such malfunctioning systems which were supposed to respond to disasters, and many other things, like see uh, the 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 gear was being prepared at some fireplaces where near to that n number of cylinders were being kept. So this is inside the forest. So all these points were not safe. Even en route to this place named Pamba, there were number of bath cuts. So sometimes there were reports of drowning deaths. So we examined all these cut and finally made some recommendations. Say some cuts like the serial number 3, we asked them to stop this cut. We asked the local panchayat to abandon this cut during the pilgrim season. So similarly, many recommendations were made. So the recommendations are listed even before the start of the pilgrimage. So it is called safety walk recommendations. So as I discussed, we do it, a briefing is being done first, then various steps like, see, it is a holy river. So in order to know the height of the water level, we have to install some warning poles. So such recommendations were made here. It's one thing, and the other thing is another safety walk. First walk was from the place named Patna, the city area, to the river, to the place named Pamba. Then the other walk was made through the dense forest to identify various incidents. So again, here also, say we may recommend certain culverts here. Actually, last 2 years back when I was passing through this area, such recommendations were implemented. So we were also happy to identify this. See, the channels may not it's a rural area, so the channels will be full of weeds. So we do recommend sometimes to cut these weeds. So similar small recommendations were made. Then we did certain analysis for understanding how these stampedes are happening. So we installed certain systems like CCTV, the support from NGRF, and various other stakeholders. We identified stampede prone areas and mapped it so that we were able to map some evacuation paths. See, these were the stampede prone areas. Similarly, we identified fire prone areas also, like this. These are the fire prone areas. Now, accordingly, we were able to plan an evacuation route from which places the evacuation should start first and through which way. Then we were able to categorize it. From this point, it should be like this point, it should be like this. Similarly, and then categorize it likewise. The first evacuation should take place from the zone 6, then the zone 10, not the zone 1. So similarly, categorizations were made through which place, which area to be evacuated first. So these things were implemented. So see, the people were moving in different directions. It's not single direction movement. Sometimes it may be different directions. And people are staying sometimes. They may stay in some tents that they make by themselves on the day of Magarivalaka. So of course it is fire prone. So similar areas are there. What to say, hazardous places are being identified, and certain recommendations we usually make in these areas. So such an analysis has already been done. Then the health facilities, that is also we analyze. See, in various places, usually heart attack issues are recommended, are being reported, that we usually take a list, and death due to some other reasons like snake bite or attack from elephants, that are also reported, and we do take an analysis over that. people from various states, that also we sometimes take. See, the death from Tamil Nadu, it is high. It is not because of any issue with the Tamil Nadu, but it is because of the more number of people coming from Tamil Nadu. So similar analysis were made, and we took the terrain shape, the terrain model, so that we can easily identify which area is more hilly. And so thus we identified where can we get more cardiac cases. Accordingly, we implemented some emergency medical centers on the en route in those hillocks, so that we were able to reduce the number of cardiac issues there. Then certain analysis were made, what facilities are available there, how many doctors are there, what are the additional requirements. So all these recommendations, even for taking these people in structures, by lifting them and to bringing them to the nearby hospital. So we identified how many people are there, what are the facilities available there, what are the ambulance facilities available. Everything were identified before the season itself. Then we implement certain disaster management mechanisms. So as part of the disaster management mechanism, usually we make, it's getting 4:30, so I will wind up in 5 minutes, maximum in 5 minutes. We installed an emergency operations center at a base place named Nilakal, and then in Pamba and Sannidhanam, some ICPs are installed. We will have the list of all resources, whatever resources are expected to be there. We will have a list of all those things. Like if you want the contact number of the RDO or other officials of that place, or say a JCB or a crane or a fire and rescue people or a hospital or an ambulance, whatever information is required, that will be available with the fingertips of the people who are working in these control rooms. Actually, I was taking care of those control rooms during that season, during from 2011 to 19. Then weather updates are being taken from various sources. Hourly crowd data is also being collected, like how many people are coming at what time. See, on Friday at this time, total inflow is this much, this is the outflow. So this many people are staying back, and we do take certain analysis also. I will showcase you the how the analysis is being carried out. So technically qualified, especially disaster management qualified professionals are being deployed for these disaster management activities. We install our own independent communication system, because when the crowd is high, your mobile phones will not work. A single tower may be capable of carrying, say, 2,000 calls at a time or 20,000 calls at a time. If 1 lakh people are coming there and they are trying to call, it will not work. So we install our own independent communication systems. A list of various other systems are, say, these are the more than 15 number of different communication devices are just being installed only for crowd management in the emergency operation centers. So this is the IRS system that we follow in the emergency operation center. So in 2015, I think he was the then health minister taking care of the activities, and this was the district collector in 2016 working in the control room. This was in 2017, the then disaster management minister was taking care of the things. So such activities are being done in Sabarimala. So of course some news are there. So then dashboards for taking decisions on for live updates. We do keep certain dashboards in our control room. What is the current inflow, what is the current outflow, what is the stay back, what is the weather update, what is the weather predictions, what is the live TV news. Everything is being displayed there, so that people who are working there, the decision makers can take a decision very easily. So sometimes we observe certain floods there in the river Pampa. So we developed our own, it's not flood warning, I would say, it's kind of our own preparedness mechanism. Like we delineated the watershed, and when we identified that if this much rain is happening for 1.5 hours, this much water level will increase in the nearby river. So accordingly, we developed some time. If this much rain is happening, in this time, within 1 hour, you will get this level of inundation. So we were able to evacuate many vehicles at some time. So number of communication systems are being installed that I discussed. So, and we send sometimes an email, SMS alerts. So this is the format of SMS alert. These alerts have even sent up to the state level disaster management, what to say, secretary level, or even up to the minister level. This message is being delivered, so they know at what time, what to do, how to do, or whether there is a threat, that they were able to identify. So then we were able to identify certain threshold limits. As one of the speaker was telling, if we are keeping 4 people per square meter, or if we are keeping 5 people per square meter, if we are keeping say 6 people per square meter, how many people can be accommodated in every place, and accordingly we do decide how many persons can be accommodated. So this varies every year. So we take certain measurements from the ground, and accordingly we take the realities, and we share it with the district administration to take the decision. So this was the crowd status from the inflow, the outflow, and stay back on various days. So we may think that, see, if we know this in 2015, if this many people, like say, or more than nearly 150,000 are coming, why can't we predict it for the next year? So I tried to do this, and see the next graph. This is the same thing I did for 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17, 3 years. See that these inflows are showing no any correlation among the data. So we cannot predict the crowd at any time. So various analysis were carried out during these pilgrim seasons to minimize the impact. So I told you different issues are there. So that also are mapped here. So this is how the government is preparing. On the day of Magaravalaka, the people will be there on certain hillock to see the celestial light. So then in every hillock or every remote locations, we do install additional light facilities, additional drinking water facilities, additional medical teams, additional ambulance facilities, everything to the level that we can do. So accordingly, we were able to minimize the impact to the level that is possible. Sometimes we may have to invoke DM Act for many purposes, that also we do. So I found that it is not a case in Kerala only. In Telangana also there is a festival named Sammakka Saralama Jadra, or Mandar and Jadra, Medar and Jadra they called. See, in Medar and Jadra, the men and women are involved, where in Shabarimala only men is involved. Food is available, provided is non-vegetarian in Medar and Jadra, where in Shabarimala it is vegetarian. The crowd level also, it's a comparison. So we found that such incidents are happening many places in our country. So now we are in a phase of developing new human resources for the country. So the government decided to start a course like this. So right now we are running this course, and the students are being given exposure even up to Kumbh Mela. Last Kumbh also they were taken to the Incident Command Center of Kumbh. So they were given sufficient exposure, even such many places, even to Lakshadweep for island level exposure. So that's how we are developing the human resource right now for the country. So that's all. Thank you for the opportunity provided. I hope I have crossed the time. So that's all.
Thank you so much, sir, for your truly insightful, engaging session. Your expertise, thoughtful, and perspective and practical example on Sabrimala crowd management mechanism have added an immense value to our understanding of the topic. So, moving forward, I thank you all to the esteemed resource person for your insightful and thought-provoking sessions. We now open the floor for open discussion or any questions, since we have a shortage of time. So any questions you have, 2-3 questions, we invite in the open discussion. We also invite our speakers and participants to share any final thoughts, respond to questions, or reflect on any key takeaways. So resource persons are also welcome to ask or address any point they like. or to expand upon highlight on today's session? Anybody has any question? There was a question for Tripathy sir, but due to some internal meeting, he had to leave. My question to Amalraj sir, that in your opinion, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, please.
Yeah. So in your opinion, what are the most overlooked elements you can tell in the current crowd management training programs, which we are not covering?
What I observed in Kumbh Mela, actually in Kerala, we were doing many manual practices, like counting the number of people, and manually we were counting, and sometimes I was using the door frame metal detectors, DFMDs, to identify the number of people who are coming here. But in Kumbh Mela, I identified that they were using the support of AI in such beautiful way that just keeping a camera on a bridge, they were able to count them, even they are able to recognize the people. So such technologies has to be well utilized for crowd management. I mean, the advancement of technologies should be used.
Yeah, definitely. I agree on this, sir. Thank you so much. I have a question from Randeep, sir. Are you here, sir? Is he, am I audible to you, sir? I guess he has left. One more question I have from Amalraj sir is that how can traditional practices or religious sentiments can be harmonized with the modern safety protocols without causing any public resistance?
It's very difficult sometimes. So
Yes.
usually I play some strategy. I don't know whether I am it's right to disclose this in the group, but but the thing is that suppose if on the river side, if there is a big crowd, usually I switch on the mic on that side. Then I may have to start an announcement. The Annadanam counter is open, so those who want to have the food, you can go. So those people who are there to take the bath will naturally go to the counter. So naturally, we were able to manage the crowd. It's a simple way. Or say, if you are, say, if we are in a stage, say, the next bus will charge you like 50% reduction. So naturally, the people will tend to go. We need not give pressure. We need not apply any lati, or it's not required. We have to make them go like that.
Go like that.
It's very simple, but it should be
Yeah.
tactical, and
Yes.
you should not make any issue with the government policy. That's all.
Absolutely. We ourselves have to be approachable so that we don't hurt their religious sentiments. So any other question? If not, I shall move forward with the vote of thanks. So thank you all for joining today's session. A big thanks to our speakers for sharing their insights and to leading the discussion so well. And finally, the participants. Thank you all for your time and interest. We will have more such webinar in the topic and also other related topics. And if you have any feedback or suggestion, feel free to write it to us or in the feedback form which we have attached in the chat box. Stay tuned to our social media channel for regular updates and from the Spare India Academy. Take care and thank you. Thank you all for coming.